Pope Francis has just shocked the world by openly discussing the possibility of naming his successor. In a rare and heartfelt announcement from the Vatican, he shared concerns about his declining health and even mentioned a few potential candidates, sparking widespread discussion about the future of the Catholic Church. This bold and transparent move highlights his deep sense of responsibility and long-term vision, while igniting curiosity about what could be a transformative chapter in the Church's history. Will the next Pope continue the path of reform or redefine the Church in an entirely new way? The answer now lies in the hopes and expectations of millions of faithful followers around the globe. From the very beginning of his pontificate in 2013, Pope Francis has exemplified a leadership rooted in both humility and boldness, a paradox that reflects the heart of the gospel itself. As the first Jesuit pope and the first to hail from Latin America, he embodies the universality of the Catholic Church, reaching out to the marginalized and the underprivileged in ways that echo Christ's own ministry. But Francis's mission goes deeper than mere symbolism. His landmark encyclical Laudato Si is a clarion call to the world, not just to care for the environment, but to recognize creation as a gift entrusted to us by a loving creator. In doing so, he reframes ecological responsibility as a profoundly moral duty, drawing directly from the Church's rich tradition of stewardship and justice. It is a summons that transcends politics, urging all people to reconsider their relationship with God, one another, and the earth. Yet Francis is not without controversy, a mark of any transformative leader. His vision for a more inclusive church has sparked debates, especially through initiatives like the Synod on Synodality, which invites members to voice their concerns openly. While this approach resonates with many who long for a church that listens and walks with its people, it has also been met with resistance from those who view it as a challenge to long-standing traditions. Here we see the tension between the Petrine and Pauline dimensions of the Church, preserving truth while engaging the world with missionary zeal. Perhaps one of the most striking aspects of Francis's papacy is his commitment to interfaith dialogue. By meeting leaders like Iraq's Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani and co-signing the document on human fraternity with Sheikh Ahmed el-Tayeb, he reflects the Church's call to be a sign of unity in a divided world. These acts are not just political gestures but deeply theological ones, rooted in the conviction that every human being is created in the image of God. In Francis, we find a pope who challenges us to see the Church not as a fortress to defend, but as a field hospital, a place of healing, dialogue, and missionary outreach. His efforts to address inequality, care for creation, and bridge divides among people of faith are not merely the work of a reformer, but the response of a shepherd who hears the cry of the flock and, indeed, the cry of the earth. As with any great leader in church history, his papacy will be remembered not only for the challenges it faced, but also for the gospel-centered hope it inspired. Pope Francis reminds us that the Church, ever ancient and ever new, is called to renew its commitment to being a sacrament of God's love in the world, boldly proclaiming the good news while walking humbly with all of humanity. The health of Pope Francis has increasingly become a matter of concern in recent years. Surgeries and mobility issues have posed significant challenges, yet his determination to serve has remained unwavering. Despite these physical struggles, he has continued to lead with vigor, driving transformative initiatives and sustaining a strong global presence. However, as age and health begin to catch up with him, the Pope is demonstrating yet another hallmark of his leadership: preparation for the future. His decision to publicly consider a successor transcends mere personal health concerns. It is a profound act of selflessness, reflecting a leader who prioritizes the welfare of the Church over his own role within it. With this forward-thinking move, Pope Francis is safeguarding the stability of the Church's 1.3 billion faithful, ensuring a seamless transition of leadership. It's a decision deeply rooted in humility and responsibility, revealing his commitment to preserving the strength and mission of the Church for generations to come. This is not just an act of preparation, it is a testament to a shepherd's enduring love for his flock. As the world holds its breath, the question looms: who will step into Pope Francis's shoes? The next pope's path could follow Francis's trailblazing legacy of compassion and reform, or carve out a new direction altogether. Regardless of who takes on the mantle, one truth remains unshaken: Pope Francis's transformative impact will echo for years. He will be remembered as the leader who courageously reshaped the Church, making it more open, empathetic, and deeply attuned to the struggles of a modern world. Before we delve into the names Pope Francis has suggested, it's essential to understand the fascinating and time-honored process of electing a new pope, a ritual steeped in tradition, mystery, and divine guidance. How a new pope is elected. A journey through tradition and modern practice. The election of a pope is a profound process, steeped in history, faith, and tradition, reflecting the Catholic Church's journey through the centuries. In the early Church, the decision rested on the popular opinion of clergy and worshippers. While democratic in spirit, this method often led to disputed outcomes and the rise of antipopes, rivals who claimed the papacy without legitimate authority. A pivotal moment came in 1059 when Pope Nicholas II redefined papal succession. He decreed that cardinal bishops would serve as the official electors, reducing the influence of Roman aristocracy and lower clergy. This reform emerged during a turbulent time as Nicholas himself ascended to the papacy amidst conflict with two antipopes. The decree laid the foundation for the College of Cardinals, formally established in 1150, which remains the central body in the election process today. Over the centuries, the process evolved to address challenges. By 1179, the requirement for a two-thirds majority vote ensured greater consensus among electors. The size of the College of Cardinals also expanded, from rarely exceeding 30 members in the Middle Ages to 70 by 1586. In 1975, Pope Paul VI introduced a cap of 120 voting cardinals and set an age limit of 80 years for electors. Today, the college includes 222 members, with 120 eligible to vote, though this number fluctuates as cardinals age out of eligibility. When the papal seat becomes vacant, whether through death or resignation, the process of electing a new pope begins. Resignation is rare, with Pope Benedict XVI's 2013 resignation marking the first since 1415. Within 15 to 20 days, the papal conclave convenes, a time frame formalized in 1922 to allow cardinals time to travel to Rome. Upon arrival, each cardinal is assigned a titular church, symbolizing their pastoral connection to the local faithful and their broader role in the church. The conclave takes place in the Sistine Chapel, where the cardinals are sealed off from the outside world under a strict oath of secrecy. The election process is deeply sacred, involving prayer, reflection, and deliberation. Ballots are prepared, cast, and counted meticulously, with black smoke signaling no decision and white smoke announcing the election of a new pope. Voting begins on the first day with up to 4 votes held daily if no candidate secures the two-thirds majority. After 3 days without a result, the cardinals pause for prayer and contemplation, a cycle that may repeat up to 7 times. If a decision remains elusive, a runoff is held between the two candidates with the most support. This rigorous process, combining human discernment with reliance on divine guidance, underscores the spiritual weight of the papal office. As the Church stands on the threshold of this sacred tradition, attention turns to the names Pope Francis has proposed as potential successors. Each candidate reflects his vision of a church that is compassionate, inclusive, and responsive to the challenges of the modern world. Their selection will shape not only the future of the papacy, but also the global mission of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis has identified 3 distinguished cardinals, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Cardinal Peter Turkson, and Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, as potential successors, sparking global interest and speculation about the future of the Catholic Church. Each of these candidates embodies unique qualities that align with Francis's vision of a church rooted in reform, compassion, and outreach, ensuring its relevance in a rapidly evolving world. The role of the papacy is monumental, shaping the spiritual, moral, and administrative direction of the Church. The next pope will inherit immense responsibilities, beginning with upholding the Church's central tenets of love, mercy, and unity. These timeless principles must now be applied to address urgent modern challenges such as combating social inequality, responding to climate change, and redefining the Church's role in a world that is increasingly secular, yet deeply divided. In addition to preserving tradition, the new pope must lead the Church in navigating contemporary issues. Inclusivity and engagement with younger generations are essential, as is tackling systemic problems like environmental degradation and global disparities. The Church must continue to serve as a moral compass while fostering dialogue and understanding across generations and cultures. Internally, the Pope's role demands effective leadership within the Vatican's complex administration. Balancing spiritual guidance with organizational reform will be critical, particularly as the Church continues to recover from past scandals. Transparency, accountability, and trust must remain at the forefront, ensuring that the Vatican operates as a model of integrity and service. Beyond internal governance, the Pope will also need to champion unity and interfaith dialogue. In a fragmented world, the Church must stand as a bridge between nations and faiths, promoting global peace, human dignity, and understanding. Building on Francis's efforts, the next Pope will need to expand interfaith initiatives, creating opportunities for collaboration and reconciliation. Finally, the new Pope will be faced with difficult decisions. Meaningful reform often involves tension and resistance, both within and outside the Church. Navigating these challenges requires wisdom, courage, and a steadfast commitment to the Church's mission. The ability to implement transformative changes while maintaining harmony among diverse stakeholders will define the effectiveness of the next papacy. These expectations underscore the significance of the papal office and the weight of the decision that lies ahead. In Cardinal Parolin, Cardinal Turkson, and Cardinal Tagle, Pope Francis has presented a trio of leaders uniquely equipped to guide the Church into the future, each carrying forward the legacy of a pope who dared to make the Church more compassionate, inclusive, and attuned to the needs of the world. The 3 cardinals nominated by Pope Francis each bring distinct qualities and experiences that highlight their potential as leaders of the Catholic Church. Cardinal Pietro Parolin stands out for his extraordinary diplomatic expertise. As the Vatican's Secretary of State, he has managed delicate international relations and acted as the Church's global representative. His ability to navigate complex geopolitical landscapes and foster interfaith dialogue makes him a natural successor to Pope Francis's mission of building bridges between faiths, cultures, and nations. Parolin's skill in diplomacy positions him as a stabilizing force in a world marked by division and uncertainty. Cardinal Peter Turkson has distinguished himself as a passionate advocate for social justice and environmental stewardship. A driving force behind the implementation of Laudato Si', he embodies the Church's commitment to addressing urgent global challenges like inequality and climate change. His leadership reflects Pope Francis's call for the Church to be at the forefront of these critical issues, emphasizing the moral responsibility of caring for both people and the planet. Turkson's vision and advocacy align closely with the Church's growing focus on sustainability and justice. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, often referred to as the Asian Francis, brings a deeply personal and charismatic touch to his leadership. Known for his connection to younger Catholics and his emphasis on inclusivity, Tagle has prioritized grassroots pastoral care and the spiritual needs of diverse communities. His ability to inspire and energize the faithful positions him as a leader capable of revitalizing the Church's outreach, especially in regions where Catholicism is rapidly expanding. Tagle's warmth and relatability resonate with Pope Francis's vision of a compassionate, people-centered church. Together, these three cardinals represent a range of talents and perspectives, each uniquely equipped to guide the Catholic Church in a modern and interconnected world. Whether through diplomacy, advocacy, or pastoral care, they embody the spirit of renewal and mission that Pope Francis has championed, offering a hopeful future for the Church and its global community. The election of the next Pope will be more than a reflection of tradition. It will be a signal of the Church's direction in the 21st century. Each candidate brings the potential to build on Pope Francis's transformative legacy while addressing the challenges and opportunities of a modern world. Let us now consider which of these extraordinary individuals might best fulfill these expectations and lead the Church into a new era. Cardinal Peter Turkson. Cardinal Peter Turkson embodies a vision of leadership deeply rooted in the Church's mission to serve as a beacon of hope and justice in a divided world. Born in Ghana, he brings with him a profound connection to the global South, where Catholicism is flourishing amidst unique challenges and opportunities. His journey from a small village to the halls of the Vatican is a testament to the universal call of the Church, reaching every corner of the globe to lift up those on the margins. Turkson's commitment to social justice is not merely a policy stance, it is a reflection of the gospel lived out in action. As the head of the dicastery for promoting integral human development, he has championed the Church's responsibility to care for the environment, the poor, and the oppressed. His instrumental role in shaping Laudato Si, Pope Francis's groundbreaking encyclical on environmental stewardship, highlights his understanding that creation care is not peripheral to the faith, but central to our moral and spiritual duty. This vision aligns with the Church's mission to reveal the interconnectedness of humanity and creation under the loving providence of God. His leadership within the Vatican showcases his ability to navigate the complexities of church governance while remaining steadfast in his pastoral mission. Turkson's experience managing one of the most significant dicasteries equips him to ensure that the Church's global operations function transparently and effectively. In a time when trust in institutions is fragile, his steady hand and commitment to reform provide a foundation for hope and renewal. On the global stage, Turkson's diplomatic efforts speak volumes about his ability to bridge divides and foster reconciliation. He has worked tirelessly to promote peace and social cohesion, particularly in regions of conflict where the Church's voice is desperately needed. His advocacy for dialogue and understanding is a tangible expression of the Church's call to be a peacemaker, echoing Christ's own ministry of reconciliation. This ability to engage with political and religious leaders alike positions him as a unifying figure in an increasingly fractured world. Turkson's commitment to interfaith dialogue is equally compelling. In an era when religious differences often lead to division, his efforts to build bridges with other faith traditions, especially Islam, reflect the Church's universal mission to promote peace and mutual respect. His work demonstrates a deep understanding that unity does not mean uniformity, but a shared pursuit of truth and dignity rooted in the image of God within every person. What makes Turkson's story even more remarkable is his humility. His upbringing in Ghana gives him a profound empathy for the struggles of the developing world, where the church is often both a spiritual guide and a lifeline for material support. He understands the challenges faced by local parishes and dioceses in areas of rapid growth and limited resources, bringing a shepherd's heart to the universal church. His personal witness of faith, perseverance, and service radiates the kind of leadership the church needs, a leadership that is deeply human yet profoundly attuned to the divine. In Turkson, we see a leader who embodies the Catholic Church's teachings on life, family, and human dignity. He upholds the sanctity of life and the centrality of marriage and family with a conviction that is unwavering yet compassionate. His ability to articulate these values while engaging with contemporary challenges ensures that the Church remains a moral compass in an ever-changing world. As the Church looks toward the future, Cardinal Peter Turkson stands as a symbol of continuity and renewal. His leadership would not only build on Pope Francis's legacy, but also guide the Church into a new chapter of global mission, unity, and outreach. With his heart firmly grounded in the gospel and his hands reaching out to a world in need, Turkson exemplifies what it means to serve as the shepherd of Christ's flock in the modern age. Now let's tell you about another recommended name, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. Cardinal Pietro Parolin embodies the qualities of a leader who could guide the Catholic Church into a new era of unity, renewal, and mission. With his extensive background in diplomacy and leadership, Parolin has proven himself a steady hand in times of complexity and challenge. As Vatican Secretary of State, he has stood at the heart of the Church's engagement with the world, navigating delicate relationships and fostering dialogue that reflects the Church's role as a moral and spiritual guide in an increasingly interconnected and divided global landscape. Parolin's ability to bridge divides is among his most remarkable strengths. His role in negotiating the restoration of diplomatic ties between Cuba and the United States exemplifies his skill in fostering dialogue and reconciliation. This talent for bringing together opposing sides is essential in today's globalized world, where the Church is called to unite communities of diverse cultural, religious, and political backgrounds. Parolin's diplomatic efforts are not simply about strategy. They are rooted in a deep commitment to the Church's mission of peace, justice, and human dignity. Equally significant is his dedication to social justice and pastoral care. In his work overseeing the Vatican's foreign relations, Parolin has consistently engaged with critical issues such as poverty, human rights, and peace-building. His approach aligns closely with Pope Francis's emphasis on a church that serves the marginalized and advocates for the vulnerable. A pope with Parolin's background would continue this mission, ensuring that the church remains a voice for the poor and a steward of creation. Within the Vatican itself, Parolin's experience in administration positions him as a leader who understands the intricate workings of the church's bureaucracy. The Vatican, as both a spiritual and organizational entity, requires governance that is transparent, accountable, and focused on serving the faithful. Parolin's expertise in managing its many departments equips him to address these needs effectively, especially in light of the Church's history of internal challenges and the ongoing call for reform. Stability is another hallmark of Parolin's leadership. Having served under Pope Francis during pivotal and often tumultuous times, he has gained invaluable experience in managing crises and navigating controversies. His calm, measured approach to conflict resolution, always grounded in Catholic doctrine, demonstrates his ability to guide the Church through future uncertainties with wisdom and grace. What truly sets Parolin apart is his humility and his unwavering commitment to the Church's spiritual mission. Despite his significant achievements as a diplomat and administrator, he remains deeply connected to his pastoral duties. His focus on serving the spiritual and material needs of the global faithful reflects a vision of the papacy that is both practical and profoundly Christ-centered. Parolin understands that leadership in the church is not about power, but about service, bringing the light of the gospel to every corner of the world. Parolin's international perspective is particularly vital in an era when Catholicism is both increasingly diverse and challenged by regional disparities. From the rapidly growing church in the global south to the secularization of Europe, he demonstrates a balanced approach that values inclusivity without compromising the church's core teachings. His ability to listen, engage, and respond with compassion positions him to unify the church's global community while addressing the unique needs of its regions. As the Catholic Church looks toward the future, Cardinal Parolin stands as a symbol of continuity and hope. He brings a combination of diplomatic acumen, administrative skill, and pastoral compassion that could build on the transformative legacy of Pope Francis. His leadership would not only guide the Church through the complexities of the modern world, but also inspire the faithful to embrace the timeless mission of Christ in new and meaningful ways. In Parolin, the Church has a leader who understands its role as both a spiritual sanctuary and a force for justice and peace, ready to lead the global Catholic community into an era of renewal and unity. The last name in the recommendation list is Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle embodies a rare combination of pastoral warmth, intellectual depth, and a global perspective that positions him as a compelling candidate for the papacy. Known for his deep faith and compassionate leadership, Tagle has consistently demonstrated his ability to guide both the local and global church with a steady hand and an open heart. As the former Archbishop of Manila, one of the largest dioceses in the Catholic Church, and the former president of Caritas Internationalis, he has managed vast organizations, led impactful humanitarian efforts, and inspired countless individuals through his ministry. Tagle's commitment to social justice is at the core of his leadership. His work with Caritas Internationalis allowed him to address pressing global issues such as poverty, inequality, and human rights on an international scale. His dedication to promoting human dignity and alleviating suffering aligns seamlessly with the priorities championed by Pope Francis. Tagle's leadership in these areas reflects not only his understanding of the challenges faced by the poor and marginalized, but also his unwavering determination to advocate for their needs. His ability to connect the Church's teachings with tangible action makes him a powerful voice for a more just and compassionate world. Central to Tagle's appeal is his unparalleled pastoral care and accessibility. Renowned for his humility and approachability, he has a unique gift for making people feel valued and understood. In an age of division and disconnection, Tagle's ability to connect with individuals from diverse backgrounds fosters unity and understanding. Whether addressing a global audience or comforting an individual parishioner, his warmth and empathy shine through. This capacity for personal engagement is essential for a pope tasked with guiding a global church, bringing people together through shared faith, and healing divisions in an increasingly fragmented world. Tagle's theological expertise further strengthens his suitability for the papacy. A respected scholar with a deep understanding of church teachings, he approaches complex theological and ethical questions with both wisdom and clarity. His ability to balance the Church's timeless traditions with the evolving needs of modern society allows him to navigate challenges with a thoughtful and informed perspective. Tagle's intellectual rigor, combined with his openness to dialogue and innovation, equips him to address the intricate issues facing the Church in the 21st century. As an Asian cardinal, Tagle offers a perspective that reflects the growing significance of the Catholic Church in Asia. The region's rapid growth in Catholicism highlights the shifting dynamics of the global Church, and Tagle's leadership would signify a renewed focus on Asia's vibrant and diverse faith communities. His appointment would not only strengthen the Church's presence in the region, but also symbolize its commitment to inclusivity and engagement with the cultural and religious diversity of Asia. Tegel's multilingual abilities, including fluency in English, enhance his capacity to communicate effectively across cultures and regions, furthering the Church's global mission. Cardinal Tegel stands as a symbol of continuity and hope for the Catholic Church. His pastoral compassion, intellectual insight, and global perspective reflect the spirit of Pope Francis's papacy while offering a fresh vision for the future. As a leader deeply attuned to the needs of the faithful and the challenges of the modern world, Tegel embodies the qualities necessary to guide the Church into a new era of unity, renewal, and evangelization. In him, the Church finds a shepherd capable of bridging the past and the present, tradition and progress, and the global and the personal, leading with both grace and conviction. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's linguistic fluency in English, Spanish, and Tagalog enhances his capacity to connect deeply with Catholics across continents, bridging geographical and cultural divides. His ability to speak the languages of many of the Church's faithful reflects not only his global perspective, but also his commitment to making the gospel accessible and relatable to people from all walks of life. In a world often marked by division along religious and cultural lines, Tegel's gift for interfaith dialogue stands out as particularly valuable. His capacity to engage meaningfully with leaders of other faiths, including Muslims, Buddhists, and Hindus, positions him as a pivotal figure in fostering peace, understanding, and cooperation among diverse communities. As the Church works to navigate an increasingly polarized world, Tegel's diplomatic skills and dedication to mutual respect and dialogue are indispensable. He exemplifies the Church's mission to serve as a bridge between traditions, a source of reconciliation, and a beacon of unity in a fractured global landscape. Cardinal Tegel's ability to listen, empathize, and inspire across cultures and religions underscores his potential to lead the Catholic Church with compassion and wisdom. His approach reflects a Church that not only seeks to evangelize but also to walk alongside humanity in its quest for truth, justice, and harmony. In him, the Church would find a leader deeply attuned to the needs of a diverse world, ready to guide it into a future of unity, hope, and renewal. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's profound spirituality and unwavering devotion to prayer set him apart as a leader who would guide the Church with humility and grace. His deep focus on the spiritual formation of the faithful reflects an understanding of the papacy as not merely an administrative role, but a sacred calling to be the shepherd of God's people. Through his personal piety and tireless service, Tegel exemplifies a life rooted in the gospel, embodying the values of love, humility, and compassion that lie at the heart of Christ's message. Tegel's commitment to living out the gospel in every aspect of his ministry ensures that the Church's mission would remain centered on Christ and the values of the kingdom of God. His approach as a spiritual guide, combined with his ability to inspire through his humility and authenticity, resonates deeply with Catholics seeking a leader who reflects their hopes and aspirations for a Church grounded in faith and love. As the Church stands on the threshold of a new era, the question remains: who among these remarkable candidates is best suited to continue Pope Francis's transformative legacy? The answer holds profound implications for the future of the Catholic Church and the millions of faithful it serves worldwide. Each cardinal offers unique strengths and a vision for the Church's mission. What do you think? Which of these leaders could guide the Church into this pivotal chapter?